going on, Vol fans? Welcome back into Tennessee Football Talk. My name is Joey Peterson. As we know by now, the NCAA transfer portal closed this past Friday. But just because the portal closed does not mean that recruiting is done, because there are still thousands and literally thousands of players in the transfer portal waiting for their new home. Tennessee has already added 18 players to their transfer portal class in 2026. Things got kicked off with Quay Moss, so we went on a nice little run of some Penn State defenders. Jordan Norman, big edge rusher out of Tulane. The Metcalf brothers are making their way from Ann Arbor all the way down to Knoxville, Tennessee. We've rounded out recently with a couple of Colorado Buffaloes of Ryan Staub, Isaiah Harge, but they might not be done yet. Number 19 might be just around the corner. I'll tell you more about that in a second. But if you are excited about this portal class so far, all 18 of them, hit that thumbs up button and like today's video. So who is this sneaky good player that Tennessee has been linked to? That was the title of today's video. I am talking about Idaho State wide receiver Ian Duarte. And I frankly don't know if you can get any more sneaky good than an FCS player from Idaho, but I'm actually decently excited about this guy's fit in the offense. More on that in a second. Pete Nakos was the one who broke the news, saying sources tell On3 Steve Wiltfong and I that Duarte will be visiting Tennessee later this week. This is their first scheduled visit in a decent bit. Right after they locked down Harge and Ryan Staub, they have not had anybody on campus since then, and Duarte is going to be the first one in over a couple of days. Last two seasons at Idaho State, 12 games played in 2025, 46 catches, 521 yards, 11.3 yards a catch, and 3 touchdowns. Last 2 years combined, over 90 catches, 1,000 yards, and 6 touchdowns. He's a smaller guy. 5'10", 176 pounds, from Santa Clarita, California. So this isn't a guy who's going to be your X receiver. This isn't a guy who you're going to put on the outside and just say, you know what, go run a goal line fade, and we're just going to throw it up to you and let you make a play on it. This is more of a guy that you scheme open, run on a jet sweep, run on a little pop pass, because you try to get the ball in his hands as many times as you can. Because, and I'm not comparing him to Malachi Toney, but their sizes are similar, and their electricity when they got the football is a little bit similar. And look, people are going to tell you, they've told me plenty of times, look, Tennessee doesn't need wide receiver help, Joey. Why are we talking about this? Same thing with Gavin Freeman. Why are we adding Gavin Freeman? Tennessee doesn't need wide receiver help. And while I would agree in a sense that I don't think it's this team's biggest need in the transfer portal, in fact, I don't even think it's a top 5 biggest need for this roster going into the transfer portal. But I do believe it's a unit that could benefit from more bodies. Like, first off, I'm never going to turn down extra offensive weapons. The more guys that we add on this team, the more guys that we have on this team, that we have confidence when they get the ball in their hands, they can make something special happen with it, the happier that I'm going to be. And you look forward to 2026 with this wide receiver room, you got to realize that there aren't many catches on it outside of Braylon Staley and Mike Matthews. Yeah, sure, those two guys combined have over 120, but between Radarious Jackson, Travis Smith, and Tristen Keys, they've got 12, the 3 of them combined. Like, I expect big jumps from Travis Smith and Radarious Jackson. But again, I'll never say no to more bodies. Okay, I think Tristen Keys is going to look great as a freshman out there, but I think it's ridiculous to say, look, we don't need help on the wide receiver spot. When past your second best wide receiver, you got a guy who had 9 catches last year. And again, don't, hear me say this and think I'm being negative towards Travis Smith or Rara. Don't hear me say this and think I don't know and don't realize that Braylon Staley just took an unbelievable leap from year 1 in this program to year 2 in this program. It happens every single year. Like, to say that you don't want a player just because you got a room that's decently full, I don't agree with that. Additionally, help you on special teams. Like, if that's the best you get out of it, sweet. I'm cool with that. What Hill will bring is speed, and more speed. I dare you. Look up the name Ian Duarte on Twitter and just watch highlights for about 3 minutes. This dude's going to get you juiced up. He's got a pretty decent catch radius for his small size and small frame. He kind of gives me Jalin Hyatt vibes. A guy who Josh Heupel is going to do a really good job at scheming open. And there's going to be times where you're looking down the field and you're like, how is he that wide open? Like, what are they even doing? I remember vividly, Kentucky game, October, dark mode, 2022, my senior year of college. Jalin Hyatt scores a touchdown on the opening drive. And then I think in the second or third drive, Jalin Hyatt's just wide open again. And I looked to one of my really good buddies, Carbob, and I said, how is he always open? I'd love it if they kind of found that similar role for Duarte, if he does end up coming to Tennessee. Do you think they're going to lock him down? Give me a yes or a no down below in the comment section. I think I'd be really, really excited about this edition. Think it'd be, like the title says, a sneaky good one that not a ton of people are talking about. Coming up, don't go anywhere. Vols locked down a new strength coach this morning, very early in the morning. Well, technically, they locked him down a week ago. It was made official this morning. Got a really cool story on new strength and conditioning coach Derek Owings I want to tell you about. Before that, I want to tell you about this awesome new sale. If you go to chatsports.com/UTBrownT, you can get this like rustic brown Power T t-shirt for just $21. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. I get it. We're going to have some winter storms across the country over this weekend. Here in Dallas, Texas, we're supposed to get 5 to 8 inches. I know over there in the southeast, y'all are supposed to get a decent bit of snow. So it might not seem, logical to go buy a t-shirt right now. Well, I'll tell you this, by the time the weather warms up a little bit, it's not going to be $21, okay? Check it out, chatsports.com/UTBrownT. That's going to be in the comments and description of today's video. So 24/7 Sports was the one that announced it earlier this morning, announced it that they are paying him $1.2 million. That is Derek Owings' new strength and conditioning coach, making him the highest paid strength and conditioning coach in college football history. Josh Heupel saw somebody he wanted, and he said, you know what? I'm not going to let money stop us from making sure he comes to Knoxville, Tennessee. Well, Elijah Surratt, Yahoo Sports, did an article about him a couple of months ago, and he said something that was really, really cool. And he talks specifically about Derek Owings. If you don't know who Elijah Surratt is, he's like one of the top wide receivers for Indiana. One of the reasons they had such a dominant offense over there with Fernando Mendoza. Made some plays last night in the national championship game. And he says this about the newest Vols strength and conditioning coach. The big thing that I don't talk about enough is Derek Owings, our strength coach. Like one of the best in the game. I'll probably say he's the main reason why I wanted to follow Coach Sig and everybody. Just the way he goes through his process of everything. I mean, strength coach are with him probably the most out of anybody throughout college. Like, how can you not love hearing that about the guy you just hired, made the highest paid strength coach in college football history, that he is the reason this now star wide receiver followed Coach Sig from JMU to Indiana. Not Coach Sig. He wasn't the one that sealed the deal. It was Derek Owings. Because guys like, I don't know, do you say playing for him if he's just a strength coach? Guys like training under him. Guys like looking to his guidance. They like following him. They like when he leads them. And he's going to bring 2 guys with him to lead them. Okay? That's the cool thing. You didn't just lock him down. He's bringing a staff as well. I imagine you're going to be paying these guys a decent bit of money as well to leave a school they just won a national championship with. One of those guys is Josh Huff. Saw on Twitter today he was sounds like it's fake because I saw it on Twitter, but it was a report about the additions. He is known as the science guy behind all the data. You would be absolutely dumbfounded at all the analytics these guys see. My one season, I worked with Tennessee football. Just the numbers, they were catapults at all times. Just information. Josh Huff is the guy behind that. Carl Miller, he's one of the lineman specialists. That's more kind of where he goes to. Trenches. We talked about it this morning. I gave you 5 things I learned from last night's national championship game. One thing that made it very, very obvious watching Indiana and Miami face off was that this game is still won and lost in the trenches. So get a guy in there. Get those guys nice, big, and strong. Rate your excitement level in these moves. Scale them for me 1 to 100 down below in the comment section. That's going to do it for today's show. Make sure you guys lock us in on socials. Make sure you guys have us followed here on YouTube by hitting that big red sub button. Daily videos only on your Tennessee Volunteers. Gage and I pumping out the content all off season long, so make sure you subscribe to that.